Um, for me, I wear many hats, so I'm no longer young, but I'm still a Nigerian. I've worked in the private sector, I work now in the government, but I have always been passionate about Nigeria. And so for me, this is an extremely important conversation. And it's very interesting to hear these views, because I think when Kola said two Nigerias, in my head, I think we had a lot of laughing moments. I thought, no, probably 220 million Nigerians, different Nigerians. We're all very different, north, south, east, west. And I think a lot has been said that's really valid. And I'm very thankful that the stage has been set from the perspective of some facts and data about Nigeria. So I think I will tend to focus more on where we go from here. But I'll start with a little bit of history from me as well. In 2008, I was very lucky to be part of a program trying to develop fellows in Nigeria to focus on leadership. And that was when I paused to think about the fact that there are very few places in this country where you are actually groomed for or prepared for leadership. It was the Nigeria Leadership Initiative at the time. And they put me in a class with 24 other amazing people, all of whom actually we've kept in touch over the years, and we brought our views from all over the country, again, in very different places. We were supposed to be young people who, were doing well in, at their level, mid to early career, and had a passion for Nigeria. And I learned a lot. But I think what's very interesting for me over the years is my thoughts about Nigeria going in at that time. This was 13 years ago, still haven't really changed. And I think I'm hearing a lot of the reason why here in this room. I think mostly for me, I think Jola mentioned the fact that we don't have the conversations that we need to have, but I would take it a step further and say we don't take the actions that we need to take. Nigerians all over the world are described as bold. We're brazen even to some people. They think we're a little bit too pushy. But wherever we go, we manifest because we are bold and courageous, and we do what we need to do to get where we want to get. But I think we do that everywhere except where it's most important, in our own country. About the things that we don't like, about the things that we see that don't work. So, for example, many of us can list I think even 5 to 10-year-olds can list the problems of Nigeria today. They would tell you about the failings of the education system, the justice system, corruption. But when you ask someone, so how do we change the education system? Then we start with, it's a process and we have to get all the states to agree, and we keep talking about it like as if it's something that's impossible to do. But even the people in that sector, and those of us who are outside, whose children go to that sector, and those of us who are employers of labor, who have to hire people from that sector, know it needs to be done. So why don't we do it? I think the biggest failing of Nigeria is the failing of the followership to take leadership. It's the fact that we all think someone else should be doing it, and someone else is going to do it, and it's someone else's fault that it can't be done, and until someone else steps up, it can't be done. And I think until we break free of that mode of thinking, we will remain where we are, and that is an inconvenient truth. I remember waking up one day and hearing my name announced, I didn't hear my name announced, I just had a lot of phone calls, and someone said something about congratulations about being on a list. And then I opened my phone and I saw I was on a list, and that's how I got into government. It was never planned, but it was an opportunity I could never refuse, because I realized coming out of that NLI initiative that I can no longer continue to complain about Nigeria. I have received every possible opportunity. I'm lucky, I'm educated. I had the opportunity to work in great careers for some of the leading companies, not just in the country, but across the world. I have absolutely no excuse to not take leadership. I always say I remember when I first saw the statistic in 2007 or 8 or something that said there were 300,000 DSTV boxes in Nigeria. And I was stunned. I said, okay, that means everyone that has a DSTV box in their homes is in the leadership of Nigeria. So we are the 1%. And if we can't, if we're the 1% of this country, even the 0.1% really, it is our responsibility to change it. You may say, I am not the one who's being corrupt, and I am not the one who did this. But we are in positions where we can make a difference, and we're in positions where we can reach the people who need to make a difference. And so the onus is upon us, more than it is on the average Nigerian on the street, to make a difference. And so we have to step forward and take individual action. And that for me is my song and dance. Everybody knows that. Day in, day out. We have to take leadership. I think it's been encouraged by the fact that I'm in this house. I remember when we started our Obalende project, Changing the World, we went into Obalende and we identified the things that needed to be done. And we intervened in health, in education, the feeding team. I was a proud and active member for 8 or 9 years. And we intervened in school, we built schools, we did libraries, we did water projects. This was a community engagement. And we went there just to make a difference. But what happened was the people of Obalende then started coming. People are receptive when you reach out to them. It's not about saying that should have been done and pointing to the local government. We just went and did it ourselves. Now, I'm not saying go out and become a government, but we can engage the government, we can engage at the local government level and get things done. When we start to do things, conversations start to happen. And I think conversations are extremely, extremely important. So let's engage our leaders in conversation, but let's go out and do things. Each and every single one of us might be holding the key to something that is needed in this country. Let's pick up that one thing and fix it. I don't want to pick on people, but there's someone in the crowd here. I keep saying for me, Lagos State, LSETF is one of the shining lights of this state. And they've shown what can be done. LSETF, and yes, sorry, I put you on the spot a little bit. It's an initiative that started, the government committed to doing this. They didn't know how to do it, but they started. They invited partners who knew how to do it. Some of those partners came in and said, oh, we'll support you. Now they're supporting more. They showed the private sector how to lend to people without security. And the private sector came and said, no, we want to partner with you to go and do this. And there are pockets of excellence all over Lagos State. I'm sure there are pockets of excellence all over Nigeria. But I can only speak to Lagos because that's where I work and I know some of the things that are happening. So we can create pockets of excellence. It's extremely important that we do so. And we can do that simply by walking in. I can tell you, I work in government. We are very happy when we have partners who come, who want to make things happen, who want to have honest conversations, who want to work with us to do the things that need to be done. We are very, very willing to work with people. So step forward and take ownership. The other thing I want to say is, what unites us, I think, is much greater than what divides us. I think too often, while it's important to acknowledge the things that haven't been done as well and be honest about them, I think one of the reasons why we haven't made much progress as a nation is we haven't defined where we want to progress to. So if I ask everyone in this room what the vision of Nigeria is, what the 1 or 2 things Nigeria wants to achieve are, I don't think all of us can give us the same answer. We don't have a clear vision of where we want to go. And so we don't have anything to unite us. And that's why we manifest the different things that may be important to us in our tribes, in our ethnic groups, in our states, in our political associations or whatever. When we can start to craft the things that we want to do, we can unite behind that common vision. But until we have that, we have nothing to unite behind. And then we start to pick at our differences. So I think it's important we also start to be part of making that conversation happen. Let's have 1 or 2 things that we really want to do as Nigerians, together as Nigerians, irrespective of what our differences are. That is how to move the nation forward. I think I'll end by talking a little bit about, as I've talked about individual action. I think it's important to reiterate what I started with, which is we are bold when it comes to everything except what's important to us as a nation. So let's stop waiting for permission. Nobody is going to tell you when to do what is right. It's up to us to take the onus as a Nigerian, to take the responsibility as a Nigerian, to decide to make the sacrifice as a Nigerian to move the country to where we want to see it be. God bless Nigeria. Thank you.